morning everyone. Myself Kamalata, Assistant Teacher of Black Diamond Public School, Katona, Jamui. And today I would like to welcome you all in this in-house training session on topic leadership leading from the front. First of all, introduction of the topic. Leadership is one of the most important functions of management. Leading involves directing, influencing, motivating employees to perform. And leadership has probably been written about, formally researched and informally discussed more than any other single topic throughout the history of management and skills. It has been recognized that the difference between success and failure, whether in a war, a business, a protest movement, or a basketball game, can be attributed largely to leadership. That means in all fields there is a leadership is required. Yet despite all the attention given to it and its recognized importance, leadership still remains pretty much of a black box or unexplainable concept. It is known to exist and to have a tremendous influence on human performance, but its inner workings and specific dimensions cannot be precisely spelled out. Despite this inherent difficulties, review of some of the widely known classic studies on leadership can provide the foundation for the analysis of modern theories and styles of leadership. Leadership usually determines the failure or success of any school or any organization. The main task of leadership is to direct and unify the effort and inclinations of the individuals of a group towards the achievement of desired common goals. A leader is basically concerned about the task and human relationship. No organization units can function effectively without effective leadership. There is a considerable difference of opinion among experts as to what constitutes leadership. It has been defined as a concept or a function or an admixture of both. However, it is largely agreed that leadership is a means which direct, guide and influence followers in the achievement of any ends successfully. It is a good leadership that develops the spirit of cooperation among human beings and provide direction for coordination of activity. According to Peter Drucker, leadership is shifting of own vision to higher heights. The raising of men's performance to higher standards, the building of man's personality beyond its normal limitation. And most of the famous personalities give different definition of leadership. And as we know that a leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done, his aim fulfilled, they will say, we did it ourselves. And one more thing, that is, where there is no vision, the people perish. I must follow the people. Am I not their leader, but I must follow the people. You manage things, you lead people. Rear Admiral Grace Hopper. The first responsibility of a leader is to define reality. The last is to say thank you. That means the responsibility of a leader starts with a reality and ends with a word, that is thank you. In between, the leader is a servant, and between that thing, the reality and the word thank you, there is a leader is a servant. And leadership is also a capacity to translate vision into reality. There is a scope how to convert the vision into real world. Before you are a great leader, success is all about growing yourself. When you become a leader, success is all about growing others. And leader is always a dealer in hope. He works for hope, in hope. And the next slide is, who is a leader? When we think about leader, who comes to mind? In impactful figures like Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, or perhaps Nelson Mandela, and so many might come to our mind. But defining what truly marks these historic icons as good leader proves a bit more challenging. Was it simply their challenging? Was it simply their position that made them good leaders? Or was it something more? While we have all experienced leadership in our lives, very rarely are we asked to define who is a great leader, and what is a great leader. Answers vary from institute to institute, organization to organization, person to person, and making the qualities of leadership even more exclusive and elusive to pinpoint. Are you thinking about the next step in your career? Simple exploration of the questions or the slide, who is a leader, include: a leader is someone who inspires passion and motivation in followers. A leader is someone with a vision and the path to realizing it. A leader is someone who inspires their team, has support and tools to achieve their goals. No any famous personality is required for leader. A leader is anyone. A leader may be any of those things, but a good leader is all there. An effective leader has a shared vision, but a good leader is all that things. An effective leader has a shared vision aligned with core values and understands what it will take to reach their team goals. They inspire, manage and support their teams to work creatively and confidently towards that shared vision. A leader empowers their team members to embrace their own unique leadership qualities and act with independently accountable passions. One that leads or guides is a good leader. One who is in charge or in command of others is also a good leader. One who heads the political party or any head of any organization. One who has influence or power, especially of a helpful nature. And my next slide is characters of leader. As everyone know that leaders are bold but never leave their teams behind. A true leader is one who is humble enough to admit their mistakes. Balancing vision with support that empowers team members to achieve shared goals. Leaders embrace a number of leadership qualities and can't be pinned down to a single style. However, leaders across the board tend to exhibit 7 major characteristics. And these are the 7 characteristics are: number 1, purpose. Without a sense of purpose, it's hard to motivate team members. Leaders empower people to see the intention behind specific goal. What are the intention? What are the purpose of this goal? And leaders has the ability to check that. And leaders has also the ability to enabling them to make equal part, making the day-to-day process feel more purposeful, helps maintain teams motivation and personal investment for any organization and to achieve any goals. And individual accountability in their teams is also a character of leadership. This motivates team members to embrace their own leadership qualities toward big picture achievement. Motivation. Motivation is required in every field of life. For students, when we teachers motivate any students for any work, they always try to do perfect or always try to do best. Leaders are great motivator and create value aligned goals, so team members feel personally inspired to work toward the organization vision or goals. Paired with consistent outreach, leaders empower their team members to work passionately beyond their responsibility towards a common goal. Motivation goes beyond inspiring words, and always great leaders talk to their teams and listen to their ideas and questions carefully and always try to give answers. Being a leader is not about giving order and managing results. It's about listening, supporting and helping, and inspiring the best from others. Vision. Leaders see the bigger picture and can unite their team members behind their vision. By incorporating team strength and core values, leader inspires their team with an end goal that without a cohesive vision aligned with core values, companies often find themselves hitting goals that don't progress their company or organization in a specific direction. Staying afloat does not equal growth. Leaders are visionaries for growth and expansion. Empathy. Leaders empathize with their team members. It's how they inspire people to walk beyond their responsibilities towards a shared purpose. By listening and empowering them. Putting themselves in the position of their team members also help leaders address critical concerns and provide solutions. Creativity. Whereas teachers might feel inclined to stick to the status quo, leaders innovate in bold and creative spaces rather than being concerned with the chain of command. And leaders always encourage their colleagues to ask why and think in new way to realize a bigger picture with a vision guiding them. Leader embrace new way of conceptualizing and strategizing. Nothing is off the table when it comes to provide imaginative and more effective pathways to long-term goal achievement and success. Although the organization's overall vision may begins with its leader, their vision will account for nothing if it does not speak to team members. And a good leader always try to improve. Leaders never stop bettering themselves with an eye towards growth. Leaders continuously seek opportunity to improve for themselves and their teams. This leaning towards personal betterment means leaders actively seek feedback and value and ideas that favor effectiveness and improvement over defending their egos. When leaders create an environment where feedback is not just helpful but highly valued, and honesty, direction, communication, needs support from all, assume obligation. These all are the characters of leadership. Reciprocal relationship. It is also a character of leadership, and this a simple word can explain about all about the leadership. And always in any organization there is a relationship that is reciprocal or etc. Management experts regard reciprocal relationship between leaders and followers to be one of the main characteristics of a leadership. A leader is not one who dominates the will of others, but is one who know how to relate the different will so that they will have a driving forces. Thus, a leader not only influence his group but is at the same time influenced by it also. And leader and all colleagues work for a common goal. The nature of leadership is to stimulate and direct the effort of followers to accomplish some common goals or objectives. It is the duty of the leader to define clearly some goals with the followers can identify their personal interest. And as like the decision making, leadership also a continuous process. It is never ending process. A leader continuously make efforts to influence behavior of his group members. He or she always carries on this process by maintaining free flow of two-way communication with the entire group of his followers or team. And a leadership always shared function, shared work. And a good leader always share everything with his team. Share ideas, opinions, experience, credit, or so many things, and so on. And it is a dynamic art. No particular style of leadership is effective in all situations. The effectiveness of leadership depends heavily on the situational variables. Therefore, art of leadership is exercised and applied in accordance with the demands of the situation. It is a personal quality. Leadership is a personal quality. It is a behavioral quality and ability to influence others towards a goal. Leadership is the quality of behavior of individual whereby they guide people or their other team worker on their activities. Power. A person holding power over other is a leader. By virtue of power, a person is in a position to influence the behavior of his group members. A leader may derive from superior knowledge, information, experience, or his performance. And just like a coin, there is also a positive and negative leadership. Autocratic style of leadership and type of leadership are considered as negative leadership. Do the work when they are told to do. It is just like a dictatorship. Whereas democratic and free reign relationship are treated as positive relationship. Here, subordinates are allowed to participate in decision making process, especially in the decision that may affect their interest. And the next slide is difference between manager and leader. The duty of manager is to oversee the current process well, but leader always want to create the future and they always needs to make changes. But in manager thinks execution and the leader thinks ideal, and leaders always ready to welcome risk, any types of risk, and manager always comfortable with control. Problems are just that and need solutions, and leader sees problem as opportunity is patience, and manager procedure is king, but leader procedure is substance thumps the king. Instruct as a technique and process. Manager instruct as a technique, as to technique and process, but leaders behave like a best college professor, and manager are impersonal but leader high emotional intelligence. According to authority and power, a manager operates on the basis of his formal authority, which may or may not be compelled with his power over the group, but the leadership operates basically by which power possessed and through the help of its personal qualities. Role. According to role, a manager is primarily concerned with shaping or molding behavior of subordinates towards the attainment of common objective, and a leader is concerned with inspiring followers through creating zeal in them towards the attainment of objective. And according to relationship, the relationship between the manager and its operator are those of superior and subordinates, but in case of leadership terminology, the head and his all the colleagues are called the leader and the follower. A leader is a friend and a puller of his team, but a manager is a boss and pusher of people. Next slide is importance of leadership. Effective leaders play a significant role in need satisfaction of the organization, need satisfaction of its workforce, and also the satisfaction of the society. The importance of leadership can be understood by the given points of slide, that is initiates action, motivation, providing guidance, creating confidence, coordination, effective planning, inspiration and motivation. And always remember the difference between a boss and a leader. A boss says go, but leader says let's go. Improve self-confidence through direction of followers' talent. Self-confidence is perhaps the most significant mental asset possessed by an individual on which he or she can capitalize. A leader can help people to develop their talent, imparting proper direction and guidance to them for the best utilization of their talents. Encouraging initiative, a progressive, forward and democratic minded leaders always encourage initiative on the part of followers. Through encouraging initiative, the leader can help the organization avail of the hidden merits of people. Leaders always find the hidden talent of a team member. Best utilization of all available resources. A leader primarily operates on the basis of motivation. Motivation is an instrument in the hands of the leader, which is used by him in shaping and molding human behavior. Through motivation, the leader causes a best utilization of manpower resources. All other resources are utilized through, and all the resources that are available are utilized through manpower resources. And emphasizing of unity of objectives. A leader would help the follower or team member for understanding the importance of unity of objective. However, how the individual objective can be united with the common objectives. Once the colleagues or subordinates understand its significance, it is much likely that they start working for common objective with a sense of zeal and devotion and dedication. And a good leader always provides good working climate. A good leader provides a healthy work climate where individuals can work towards group happily. A leader always initiate necessary changes, unify efforts of employees by making a judicious use of time and resources. And a leader always mobilize and utilize the resources in the service of an organization, and always try to improve the performance of team members, and always give or provide imagination, foresight and initiative to our teamwork and forces them to have an identity of interest, outlook, and try to perform best. And a good leader also provide a psychological support. Leaders not only help their followers in accomplishing the organizational tasks or organizational goals, they also help them to overcome the various problems that they are faced with while performing their task. They create willingness among people to work with zeal. And a good leader builds a team spirit. No individual can work in isolation, and leaders develop a team spirit among their followers to work collectively and coordinate their activity with the organizational activities and goals. And a leader work as a captain of the team, and he or she also maintains order, discipline, rules, regulation. An effective or good leader has quality to maintain order and discipline in the organization, and he always decides the standard of behavior and see that his followers follow the same in their behavior. And a good leader also acts as a counselor. Quite often, people in the workplace need counseling to eliminate the emotional disequilibrium that is created sometimes in them. Leader removes barriers, stumbling blocks to effective performance. For instance, frustration that results from block never drive keep an employee details of the working trade. So he work or act as a counselor. And leader always release the employees of the emotional tensions and restores equilibrium. Next slide is role of a leader. A leader's role is always to ensure her team achieves the task in hand. But an effective leaders will also ensure they meet more subtle requirements like strong focus, integrity, good engagement with others, looking at the bigger picture, resourcefulness, organizational clout, effective communication. A good objective of leadership is to help those who are doing poorly to do well, and to help those who are doing well to do even better. Any organization with positive leadership roles are more likely to have effective management, rewarding cultures and productive teams. Although some individuals have natural talent and excellent leadership quality or skills, and some can learn to become better leaders. Provide a vision. Providing a vision for the team is the single most important role of any leader or any owner or any head. Team members cannot be expected to participate in a common effort if they don't know the goals of any purpose. When team members understand the vision and goals, they are more focused and understand how their individual roles help to drive the success of the organization. Establish effective organizational structure and communications protocols. Set up a clearly defined organizational structure which include an organizational chart outlining the chain of command and protocol for effective communication. And we teachers need to understand who they report to when they have question or concern. To facilitate effective communication and efficiency, develop communication protocol. It can be helpful to use multiple channels like email, team chat group for one-to-one communication and for any type of short meeting and convey announcements and information on minor issues. And face-to-face meetings are necessary to discuss important issue or convey information that is sensitive or may result in questions. And be an effective role model. Demonstrate the behavior desired from the rest of the team. A leader that displays outbursts of anger, makes snap decisions with no regard to the potential outcomes for the staff, demonstrate uncaring attitudes, show favoritism for some employee, withhold information from the staff, that procrastinate on important decisions, tolerate lack of accountability, demonstrate inconsistencies in their service, and also fail to listen to their employees, will not be as respected by the team and likely will not be successful in achieving their goals. Inspire and motivate. One definition of leadership is to inspire, influence and guide others to participate in a common effort. Good leaders don't just bark, order or hand out directives with no explanation. Instead, they use effective communication and motivation technique to facilitate action by their team. Leaders that inspire and motivate their team inputs from that solicit input from employee, delegate and empower. Good leaders surround themselves with the right people in the right job. This facilitates being able to lead rather than manage. Any small organization then begins the process of effective delegation and empowerment with their management level team. As a leader, you can focus on the strategic vision of your success. When we are able to delegate tasks to those who are best aligned to that specific skill set, and we are creating a environment conducting to learning and growth. Effective time management. Part of being an effective leader include time management. If you spend most of your time fielding complaint and reacting to problem, this may be a sign that you are not delegating effectively or empowering their team members. And the next slide is managerial leadership influence the organization in the following way. Leading affects morale. Leading is key to effective communication. Leading effectively contribute more to the bottom line. And the next is functions of a leader. According to Rich and Crutchfield, the function of a leader come into three categorized, that is setting and achieving organizational goal. Under this there is a 3 points, that is policy making, planning, execution, and the next category is operations of the organization. Under this there is an expert, group representative, controller, and motivator. And the third category is group figure. Under that, symbol of the group, ideologist, father figure, and scapegoat. Setting and achieving of organizational goal. And I told earlier that under that there is a three main thing, that is policy making. Policy making. What is policy making? A leader may either establish organizational goals and objective himself, or he may participate with his superior or subordinate in stabilizing them. Thus, the head of any organization, perhaps in collaboration with the board of directors or with the staff, determine the nature of the commodities or service with which the company will be concerned. Planning. This function is intermediate between the determination of policy and their execution. In this connection, the leader makes decisions concerning the way and means with which the organizational goal can be achieved. A foreman not only assign tasks to his subordinate, but he may also plan, work schedule, and devise operational procedures. Expert. The leader is an expert in his job. The knowledge and skill which he or she possesses are useful in instructing his subordinates, and he is a controller of intra-group relationship. The leader acts as a controller of all intra-group relationship. He coordinates the activity of all the members of his group, seeks to maintain harmony among them, and prevent the group from breaking into opposing faction. And he is also a motivator. And leader always develop teamwork. And a leader always use his or her power properly. If a leader is to effectively achieve the goal expected of him, he must have power and authority to act in a way that will stimulate a positive response from the team. A leader, depending on the situation, exercises different types of power, that is reward power, legitimate power, referent power, or so many. And leader always manage the time. Time is precious and vital, but often overlooked in management. There are three dimensions of time: imposed time, system imposed time, self imposed time, that are prominent in literature because the leader has through knowledge of the principle of the time management, such as time preparing chart, scheduling techniques, etc. He is in the position, or he or she is in the position to utilize the time productivity in the organizations. And styles of leadership. Shakespeare tried to classify the types of leadership by stating in Twelfth Night that some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. Management experts have classified leadership in various ways. The Personal Research Board of Ohio State University has classified leader into 5 groups as under the bureaucrat, the autocrat, the diplomat, the expert, the quarterback, directive, permissive, and participative. So I want to explain the first one, that is autocratic or authoritarian leadership. Autocratic leaders give order, assign tasks and duties without consulting the employees. Subordinates act as he directs. He neither care for their opinion nor permit them to influence the decision. They believe that because of his authority, he or she alone can decide what is the best to do in a given situation. And the autocratic leadership is based upon close supervision, clear-cut direction and commanding order of the superior. It facilitates quick decision, prompt action and unity of direction. And it depends upon lesser degree of delegation. And there is also some features of autocratic leadership, that is they centralize power, they make all the decision himself without the help of other, they structure the work of his group members as far as possible, they exercise close supervision and control over his group members, and they expected to be obeyed by his subordinate without question. And some of the disadvantages of these types of leadership are it gain overburden because of centralization of authority, and it creates fear and frustration among subordinates because there is an overburden. It hampers creativity of subordinates, and it blocks the free flow or two-way communication. In the absence of consultation and feedback from subordinate, decision may cost exposed, and it is also disliked by everyone when it is negative. And next, participative leadership. It is just opposite to autocratic leadership. Participative leadership decentralized authority. Such leaders involve subordinates in decision-making process. Thus, decisions are not unilateral. And the main features of democratic or participative leadership are leader decentralized authority. They involve subordinate in decision-making process. Hence, decisions are not unilateral. And he believes in free flow of communication. And he explained reason for any actions that is taken by him. And his group member work as a social unit and always motivate his team worker through positive means, that is reward. And the leaders believe that their cooperation in the attainment of organizational goal can be enlisted only if they are committed to the organization, and that commitment can be ensured only by an honest and open communication of ideas with them, by the development of a team spirit. Expert leadership. This is an emerging style of leadership, resulting in part from the complexity of any modern organization. The basis for expert leadership is the individual leader's knowledge and ability that he assumes the role of the leader regardless of his age, physical, sex or other attributes. It depends largely on the approximate mix of skills and the need of others in a situation. With any changes in a particular situation, other person may become the leader who would meet the needs arising out of the changes. In these circumstances, a person is looked upon by group member as an expert who must continuously demonstrate his expertise in order to maintain his position as a leader. And there is also a sum of the theory of leadership, that is great man theory, the trait theory, the role theory, a group and exchange theory of leadership. The first one is great man theory. The earliest leadership theories can be traced back to ancient time. Plato's Republic and Confucius dealt with leadership. Most of the early thinking on leadership suggested that leaders are born, not made. We may describe it great man approaches to leadership. And these approaches emphasize that a person is born with or without the necessary trait of leadership. Famous figures in history are used by the supporters of these approaches to prove its validity. For instance, Napoleon was said to have had the natural leadership ability to rise out of any situation to be a great leader. And the modern theorists argue that there is nothing inborn, divine, or mysterious about leadership quality. Such quality could be learned also through training and experience. It is a wrong view that success of a leader depends merely on his inborn qualities and not on acquired knowledge and experience. Hitler, an obscure house painter in his youth, rose to power in Germany apparently by sheer force of personality. And the next, trait theory. Trait theory of leadership is extension and modification of great man theory. A successful leadership depends on certain traits or qualities possessed by a leader. Some of such traits are inborn, some traits can be acquired by a person, by education, by training. And any person who wants to be a successful leader must possess these traits. Attention of experts turn to the search for universal traits possessed by leaders. Next, role theory. Role theory is simply a refinement of trait theory. Here a leader traits are reflected in his roles. A leader may play various roles as representative of the group, integrator of individual objective with the organization, coordinator of followers' activity, fatherly figure for his group, and some are the merits and demerits of role theory. Merits are, it provides a practical account of what leaders do. Traits are reflected in roles. The role-playing ability decides the acceptability of the leader. Demerits, there is no universal list of role of a leader. Some role of a leader are not practical. For example, a young leader cannot play the figure roles. Thank you. Have a nice day. Hope you will enjoy the session. Thank you.